The Los Angeles Rams just committed an absolute, total, and complete disaster. I am sitting here, completely stunned, trying to process how a franchise with Super Bowl aspirations just threw away their 13th overall pick. If you thought this night was going to go smoothly, think again. This wasn't just a bad pick. This was a betrayal of everything this team is supposed to be about right now. We are talking about a move that makes absolutely zero sense. And by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why I am losing my mind. Before we dive into the wreckage of this decision, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest, no-nonsense NFL updates on the planet. You don't want to miss our coverage as we break down every single angle of this offseason. Let's get real. The Rams select Tai Simpson out of Alabama with the 13th overall pick. When that name was called, my jaw hit the floor. This was not on the bingo card. This wasn't even in the realm of possibility for me. Did we know he was on the radar? Sure. Was there talk of trading down? Maybe. But staying put at 13 to take a quarterback who isn't going to see the field for years. That is an unbelievable twist that leaves me speechless. I have spent months talking about this team, breaking down film, analyzing needs, and never, not once, did I ever imagine we would walk away with Tai Simpson. It's a total blindside. And the worst part, it happened while some of the most dynamic, game-changing talents in this draft were still on the board. We are looking at a team that is trying to win right now, sitting in a window of contention, and they opted for a project. It's almost impossible to justify. We had the chance to add a weapon, a true, certified playmaker, to our offense. Someone like my lemon was right there, staring us in the face. This was the guy we talked about over and over again as the missing piece, that third option that could have taken our offense to the next level. Instead, we let that opportunity slip through our fingers to draft a guy who will be holding a clipboard for at least the next 24 months. I believe in our head coach. I respect his ability to evaluate talent, especially at the quarterback position. If he thinks Tai Simpson has the potential to be great, then maybe he does. But at pick number 13, I cannot get there. I can't wrap my head around the value. Even if you love the player, you don't spend a top 15 pick on a backup when you have a roster that is so close to winning it all. And trust me, the frustration with this decision is only getting started. Why make this move? Is it a lack of foresight? Is it arrogance? Or is there something we are missing? Let's take a second to look at the alternative reality where we actually tried to compete for a championship this year. Why on earth would you prioritize a long-term project over immediate impact? I want to hear from you. Who is to blame for this monumental lapse in judgment? Drop a name in the comments right now. Think about the sheer opportunity cost here. You pass on guys who can help you win a ring at SoFi Stadium this year. You pass on defensive studs. You pass on offensive weapons, all to secure a backup quarterback for the 2027 season. We are trying to be world champions, not preparing for a rebuild that doesn't need to happen. It feels like we are playing two different games. The team is acting like they are in a rebuilding phase, while simultaneously paying like they are in a Super Bowl window. The logic just isn't there. And it gets even more confusing when you realize the context of the quarterback room. We are in the middle of talking about a massive contract extension for our starter. We are looking at tying our future, financially, to the best quarterback in the NFL. And in the very same breath, you use your highest draft pick on a potential replacement. It makes no sense. It feels like we are actively working against our own goals. If the reports are true, and we are about to lock up our current franchise leader for years to come, then why draft a guy at 13 to replace him? Are we planning on having two of the highest paid quarterbacks on the roster? Does that help us build a defense? Does that help us keep our core guys? It feels like an amateur mistake. I am genuinely struggling to find a positive angle here. I am willing to eat crow if I'm wrong. I would love nothing more than to be wrong. I would love for this video to be looked back on as the most ridiculous take in history because we won a Super Bowl with Tai Simpson down the road. I want that future. I really do. But looking at the landscape of the NFL right now, with the team we have and the window we are in, this just feels like a massive step backward. We had so many other options. We could have moved back, traded down, picked up more assets, and still grabbed a quarterback later if we were that desperate for one. Or, heaven forbid, we could have used the 13th pick on a player who actually plays football this season. Think about what that would have done for our defense. Think about what that would have done for our depth. We had so many ways to win this draft, and we somehow chose the one path that leads to a loss. And let's be honest, Even an offensive tackle would have been more defensible than this. And you know how much I usually dislike using high picks on O-line if we have other flashy needs. But at least that would have helped our starter now. I was so confident that this wouldn't happen that I actually made a bet with some of the staff in the office. I told them, if we take a quarterback here, I will shave my head. Well, guess what? I am going to have to make good on that promise. That is how sure I was. That is how disconnected I felt from this decision. I genuinely did not think it was possible. And yet, here we are. The guys in the office were right, and I am going to be bald for my next video. But beyond my hair, the real issue is the culture of this decision. We are supposed to be an all-in organization. We push the chips to the center of the table. We trade picks for veterans. We do everything to win right now. And then, at the most critical moment of the draft, we pivot to a future-focused move that does nothing for us this year. It completely contradicts the philosophy that has brought us success. Maybe there is a deeper strategy. Maybe there is something about Tai Simpson that the front office sees that the rest of the world is completely blind to. Maybe his processing speed, his arm talent, his intangibles are off the charts. I'm open to that. But you don't use the 13th pick in the draft on maybe. You use the 13th pick on a foundational piece. If you are a fan who is somehow excited about this, I need you to explain it to me. Seriously, help me understand. If you can justify this pick beyond just trusting the process, I want to hear it. Does this move make us better in September? Does this move make us better in January? If the answer is no, then what are we doing? We are watching a team that is supposedly trying to maximize a Super Bowl window, and yet, they are drafting like they are a bottom-tier franchise looking for a savior. We have the savior. We have the MVP caliber player. We have the supporting cast. We just needed to add fuel to the fire. Instead, we bought a spare tire for a car we aren't planning to drive for another 4 years. I know I sound frustrated. I know I sound angry. And that's because I am. This team deserves better, and the fans deserve better. We have spent all this time building, grinding, and trying to get to the top, and this feels like we just took a massive detour. It's baffling. Is there any chance we have more moves coming? Are we going to see some magic happen in the later rounds? I'm holding out hope. I'm looking at the clock, waiting for news to break, hoping that this pick is just the setup for some wild, unexpected blockbuster trade that rights the ship. If that happens, maybe I'll change my tune. Maybe I'll admit I was wrong to panic. But until that happens, until I see a reason to believe otherwise, this is an F. It is a complete, total failure of a draft pick given the context of where this franchise is right now. It doesn't help our offense in the current year. It doesn't help our defense. It doesn't help our cap situation. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to get ready to fulfill my promise and deal with the fallout of this night. I really hope that when I return, I have something better to talk about. I hope there is news, a trade, a signing, anything that can make me look at this roster and feel like we are serious about winning the championship. Because right now, I just don't see it. This draft night has been an emotional roller coaster, and quite frankly, it's a ride I want to get off of. We are supposed to be focused on the Lombardi Trophy, not on who is going to be the backup to the backup in 3 seasons. It's hard to stay focused on the positives when such a glaring, massive question mark is hanging over our entire draft class. But that is the reality we are in. We have to live with this. We have to see how it plays out. And for the sake of every Rams fan out there, I really, truly hope that Tai Simpson proves me completely wrong. I hope he is the greatest quarterback in the history of the franchise. I hope he wins us multiple rings. I will be the first one to admit I was dead wrong if that happens. I will cheer for him louder than anyone. But until that day comes, I'm going to call it exactly like I see it. And what I see is a missed opportunity, a confusing strategy, and a decision that has left me, and a lot of other people, scratching our heads. Thanks for hanging in there with me through this. I know this isn't the positive, hype-filled reaction you might have been looking for, but you come here for the truth, and that is what I am giving you. Stay tuned, because this offseason is far from over, and if history has taught us anything, it's that this team is rarely boring. We'll see what happens next, and I'll be right here to cover every bit of it, hair or no hair. Let's go Rams.